Dear friends, welcome back to our third consecutive series of this video content on GSTR 9 annual returns. This is with regard to the practical illustrations and it is part 3. In today's video content, we would be covering an overview of GSTR 9 and we would also be covering the optional reporting which has been brought in via notification number 56/2019 Central Tax dated 14th November 2019, and also how to handle the mismatches with respect to input tax credits. Let us remember one thing: annual returns cannot be used either to avail input tax credits or to reverse the input tax credits. So this is not possible. But how do we proceed in such a case? That would be part of today's discussion. To get an overview of the annual returns, we have 6 parts. Part 1 is about the basic information and part 2 is about the liability related. So this is with respect to the taxable perspective, that is both my output tax as well as RCM. We also have an table 5 where we report the exempted nil rated kind of transactions. With respect to the liability and RCM, we have already covered it in our previous video series as to how to handle mismatches and report in the annual return. And part 3 is with respect to input tax credits, which is covered under table 6, which is availment, table 7, which is reversal, table 8, which is the 2A RICO part. Part 4 is about taxes paid, table 9. And part 5 is about the adjustments pertaining to 17-18, which has got effected in the year 18-19. So this, with respect to input tax credits, we will be covering this in this content. Then finally, we have part 6, which would be the other information. If we summarize the optional reporting which has been brought out via the notification 56/2019, thereby simplifying the process of data recording and furnishing the information with respect to annual returns, almost every table, the data reporting has been simplified to a great extent. So if we come to table 4, the registered person has an option either to report his transactions on gross basis or on net basis. When I say gross basis, we can report separately the invoices part and the debit notes, credit notes and amendments, or we can report on net basis. This option has been given. Similar option is available even in table 5 with respect to the exempted or non-taxable or the nil rated supplies where there is no tax implications. Even another simplification brought in table 5 is all the categories of transactions falling under either exempted, nil rated or non-GST, everything can be clubbed and reported under 5D. And table 6, that is the input tax credits related information, it called for certain bifurcations of the credits into inputs, input services as well as capital goods, but that has been done away with and an option has been provided to the registered person to either bifurcate and report or to report consolidatedly everything under inputs. However, one thing we have to note, we have to still bifurcate the RCM related credits. Again, further classification of RCM credits pertaining to registered suppliers and unregistered suppliers would be required. Then, as far as the reversals are concerned, which is the subject matter of table 7, except Tran 1 and Tran 2 reversals, everything else can be clubbed under table 7H, which is other reversals. Then table 8, which is about GSTR 2A reconciliation, an option has been provided to do a 2A RICO, and information can be provided in the PDF form which doesn't require a CA certification, but the registered person himself can self-certify and submit it. Again, it is an option. This has to be done through 9C if at all the registered person is willing to exercise this option. Then we have table 12, which is reversal of ITC of 17-18, which has been done in 18-19. This has been made optional. Again, table 13, which is with respect to input tax credit availment, that is, it is a credit pertaining to 17-18, but I've availed it in the year 18-19. But my personal view is, even though this is optional, it would be very much relevant and appropriate to report these despite the fact it is optional, so that it helps us to track our ITC in a better way. Then the other tables like table 15 with respect to refunds, other information pertaining to the composition, job worker and supplies on approval basis, all these tables have been made mandatory. And again, the Herculean task which everybody were facing was the HSN reconciliation, especially with respect to the inward supplies. So both outward supply and inward supply HSN reporting has been made optional for the 2 years, that is 2017-18 as well as financial year 2018-19. So this is the summary of the changes that has been effected through the notification discussed above. Now let us look into certain practical illustrations pertaining to input tax credits. We have listed some 7 scenarios. One scenario is a perfect scenario wherein the books, returns and my 2A everything matches. Then we have the scenario of the credits being availed in the later months, but of course within 17-18. We have taken the scenario of availed and reversed partly in 17-18 and partly in 18-19. Then reversed in 18-19, that is nothing has been reversed in 17-18, but entirely reversal has been made in 18-19. Missed credits, credits which have not been availed at all till now. Unreversed credits. So reversal was supposed to be done, but till now no reversal has been done. Then also the claim under the wrong heads which has been rectified in 18-19. So these 7 scenarios we have taken up today, and let's see the practical illustrations of it. Case 1, a very happy scenario and again a rare scenario where my books 2A and 3B would match. So whenever there is this matching of input tax credits, we are talking about an availed scenario. So everything will go in my table 6B. Either I can bifurcate it into inputs, capital goods and input service, or since I have an option, I can report everything under inputs. So there is no reversals in this case what we have taken up, and there is no corrections which is made in 18-19. Hence this would be that scenario where it's like a near perfect scenario where everything matches. Now let's take this second scenario where I have availed in the same financial year, but the July credit I have availed in February 2018. So here again there is no difference between the reporting part. Just like the case 1, same thing would be the reporting even in the case 2. Now let's look at a scenario where I have reversed, but I have done lately in 17-18. So this is a case where my 3B books and 2A, if we look at here, what has happened is there is a reversal pertaining to my CGST of the month December 2017. What has happened in this case is, although 2A it has got reflected, we may take it as a credit notes, supplier uploaded credit notes, and even in my books I have recorded these purchase returns, but the thing is in 3B it was not reversed. So the reversal has happened later in the same year. So December credits have reversed in March 2018. Kindly note that here it would be the requirement of reporting this reversal would come in table 7. So here I would require to report it. So under the table 7H, which is other reversals, I can specify here as supplier credit notes if it is pertaining to the purchase returns. However, nothing is required to be reported in the next year. One thing we might have to note here is, since I have reversed my credits lately than it ought to have been done, so there could be interest repercussions and I'll have to reverse it along with the interest. So let us take this case 4 scenario where September 2017 and December 2017 I had some missed credits which I did not avail in my 3B, but subsequently in September 2018 I have availed it. So taking this example, most of the credits I've availed in 17-18, that will get reported in table 6. Whatever I've availed in 18-19, that will get reported in table 13 of GSTR 9. The 2 months credits which I availed in September 18 pertaining to, amounting to 50,000, that I will be reporting in table 13. So let us take the other scenario where my books showed 50,000 credits, CGST and SGST, but I have excess availed in 3B to the tune of 15,000 each. Now, I haven't reversed it in the same year. However, I have identified and reversed it in the next financial year, that is again in September 18. Please note that the table for reversal is table 4B1 and 4B2 of the GSTR 3B. So in that table, it should have been reversed. So accordingly, the reversal, whatever I have done of 17-18 pertaining to 18-19, I would be reporting it in table 12 and not in table 7. In current 17-18 reversals will go to table 7 and 18-19 reversal, that is pertaining to 17-18, will be reported in table 12. Now let us take another scenario where ITC reversal is pertaining to the credit notes. It has reflected in my 2A. I have also recorded those transactions in the books, but I did not reverse these transactions in the same month, which I did it only in the September 18. So that will go directly into my table 12, which is the ITC reversal of the 17-18, which is done in 18-19. Now let us take a scenario of missed credits. That is, September credits, there was excess credits. I have not recorded that. Let us see this example. My 3B is 1 lakh, my books is 1 lakh, 2A it is 1,20,000. So there is a invoice which has not got reported in the books of accounts as well, that is accounted in the books of accounts as well. On the same hand, even 3B also it has not been reported. The second scenario is it has come in 2A, accounted in my books, but in 3B I have not claimed it. So there is a missed credits to the tune of 50,000 which I have not availed till now. So as I have iterated in the beginning of the video, annual returns cannot be used to avail the credit. So I cannot avail through annual returns. This 50,000 is going to be missed by me forever. Let us take another scenario where I was supposed to reverse some credits to the tune of 25,000, which is applicable and available in 2A and even in my books, but I haven't reversed it till now. So how do I go about with this? Let me again reiterate. I cannot use annual returns, any of the tables, to reverse the credits as well. So my availment will be as it is. Whatever I availed in 17-18 will report in table 6. My reversal also, I did not do any reversal in 17-18, nothing to report in table 7. Even in 18-19 I have not done. Till now I have not done. So even part 5 there would be nothing to be reported. So then what do I do? If I want to voluntarily comply and reverse the ITC which I wrongly availed, then I can use the DRC 03. There is an option or drop down available there as voluntary, and we can use the section 73 subsection 5 option where the registered person, if he voluntarily identifies any of the liability, he can discharge the same. Hence, using that we can discharge it. So here we discuss the final case study or the illustration where I have wrongly availed my credits under wrong head, I mean to say. So this is a scenario where a credit pertaining to August 17, my books and 2A IGST I have 2 lakhs, but in my 3B I have availed only 1 lakhs. Instead I have availed under CGST SGST as 50,000. Now how do I go about with this? What has happened is I have made the corrections in the next financial year, which is 18-19. So in the September 18, I have availed that 1 lakh rupees under the right head, which is IGST, and reversed that CGST SGST which was wrongly availed. So that was executed through table 4B2. So how do I go about with this is, I need to report this in my part 5 of the annual return, wherein I have availed 1 lakh IGST in the next year and reversed 50,000 CGST SGST in the next year. This is how we go about reporting this kind of errors. So how do we discharge? As I discussed, if at all any ITC is not yet reversed, we can use the DRC 03. Again, deposit of cash would be through the regular challan, and offset of DRC has to be done, and ITC reversals has to be executed. In the next series, we would be covering how to handle the reporting errors which has happened in GSTR 3B and GSTR 1, but that will not have any tax repercussions. So those kinds of scenarios we will be covering. I hope you find this video content helpful as you are preparing to file off your annual returns. I wish you a happy compliance. Thank you.